Hey there folks, Scottsdale Travel Chick's sidekick here to tell you about our trip to Puerto Rico, America's Commonwealth in the Caribbean. We are going to break our Puerto Rico trip into two videos. The first video will cover San Juan area, and the second one will cover the two best day trips you can take while in Puerto Rico. This is our first video, and we'll cover some overall background on Puerto Rico, then our review of Old Town San Juan, and then a quick summary of San Juan area beaches. Let's get to it. First, some history on Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico was discovered in 1508 by Ponce de Leon of Spain, and San Juan was founded a bit later in 1521, making San Juan the oldest town in America. I bet you didn't know that. For hundreds of years, Puerto Rico was key to Spanish wealth and expansion in the New World. It was both their military and commercial hub for what was one time the largest expanse of colonial ownership in the New World. Did you know that Spain basically laid claim to all of Western America's North, Central, and South America for decades? Skipping a ton of history, but eventually, in 1898, Puerto Rico was ceded to America as a result of the Spanish-American War. Since then, Puerto Rico has been an American Commonwealth. What's that, you ask? Well, it's kind of like normal America, but not. The land is owned by America, they use US dollars, and residents have US passports, but they don't pay taxes, they can't vote, and they predominantly speak Spanish. It's a little weird, but basically feels like any Caribbean island. Speaking of which, where exactly is Puerto Rico? Well, it's a little more than 1,000 miles southeast of Florida, and it's in between the Dominican Republic to the west and the Virgin Islands to the east. Okay, moving on now, let's talk about Old San Juan. Puerto Rico has a population of 3.2 million people, of which almost 80% live in the San Juan metro area. So as you can imagine, San Juan is big, but there's a small part which remains mostly authentic to its old Spanish colonial roots, Old San Juan. This small area, which used to be within the old city walls back in the day, is worth exploring. In those early days, San Juan was a critical port for the Spanish and very heavily protected. In fact, the entire town was surrounded by 20-foot thick walls, a portion of which, along with one remaining city gate, still remains. And you can find walking tours online to give you a feel for the history of the walls as well as the small Spanish port town within. That's what we did. I almost forgot. Did I mention that Puerto Rico is also famous for rum and that the Pina Colada was invented in Puerto Rico?
Okay, we are in Puerto Rico on this trip, and we just had our first Pina Colada at this adorable restaurant here called La Casita. They have a great patio, so Pina Colada number one.
Okay, after our Pina Coladas, we started our tour by walking down the old promenade or path outside the old city walls. Pretty much deserted. This is the Paseo de la Princesa.
Look at this banyan tree.
Yeah.
Okay, we are in Old Town San Juan, Puerto Rico, and I'm just showing you this because there's all these Christmas decorations here. This is the second week of January, and Puerto Rico still has all their Christmas decorations up. And just to the left of me, this used to be the prison, and they will allow you to do tours by appointment only, but of course not when we're here, so we'll have to come back. This is the bronze statue right here.
Of what?
I don't know, we're going to learn about it right here. It's all in English.
Okay, so this is actually the Races or Roots Fountain, which celebrates the 500-year anniversary of the discovery of America, along with Spanish and Puerto Rican involvement in that activity. Each of the statues celebrates one piece of Puerto Rican history. Then, as you pass the fountain, you begin your walk along the old exterior walls of the Spanish fortress town of Old San Juan.
So we're standing just outside the city walls. These are super thick walls, and you can see that they are extremely high. It protected Puerto Rico against the invasion of the British.
How thick? How thick?
I can't remember. How thick were they, babe?
20 foot thick.
20 foot thick. This gate is called the Red Gate, and it's the last gate on this entire wall here in Puerto Rico. And you can start to see how thick the walls are. We're going to show you a picture next.
Those are some pretty thick walls. As you enter the old town from this gate, you'll walk up a short hill to San Juan Bautista Cathedral. It's the second oldest church in all of America, and it contains the tomb of Ponce de Leon, the famous Spanish explorer and the founder of Puerto Rico.
This cathedral was built more than 400 years ago, and the remains of Ponce de Leon is inside. And just in front, this street down here is all some fun shopping street. So we're going to do this, and we're going to check out down the shopping.
All right. So we're inside. Somewhere is Ponce de Leon's crypt. We're going to see if we can find it. This is the main hall. Pretty beautiful. We found him off in an alcove area. In addition to exploring new lands, he was also that guy who searched for the Fountain of Youth. I guess he didn't find it. After the church, there are a number of streets and shops to explore and a lot of Spanish character to absorb as you make your way to El Morro, the famous Spanish fort. All right, where are we at?
We are standing in front of a fort called El Morro, and this was built in 1589 to ward off sea attacks that came through. And in the 1700s, they worked on rebuilding some of the walls. So,
Who was attacking them?
the British, I think. Is that
Why?
right?
Why?
Because I'm sure they were at war.
Because they had gold or anything like that.
Oh, gold. It could
Yes.
be gold, yes.
Maybe pirates who wanted the gold?
That sounds like a good story.
All of those things. El Morro proved its worth as it was attacked many times, most notably by Sir Francis Drake of the British Navy. Today, the area is popular as a tourist attraction and is mainly used as an entertainment area for kite flying, concerts, and family gatherings. In addition to walking the Old Town, you can also rent bikes and explore from the Old Town all the way out to the beaches on very well-maintained bike paths. You can also see some of the Capitol and territorial buildings and also the forts in downtown very easily. It's a nice ride.
We just rode our bicycles into part of Old Town. Had an incredible smoothie, and we are headed on our way back to check out an area that we can go snorkeling tomorrow.
Lastly, Old Town at night is another different experience with many things illuminated and some great outdoor restaurants to experience. At this one, the travel chick had some type of Puerto Rican specialty of stuffed avocado. Lastly, if you want a little bit more blue-collar local experience, you'll want to check out Plaza del Mercado or La Placita near the Condado area. In the daytime, it's a fruit and vegetable market, but at night, the area converts into local eateries called fondas and entertaining drinking establishments. Okay, once you've done your time exploring, how about a few beaches? The San Juan area is not known for its pristine beaches, but has a few worthwhile if you want to explore. The closest beach to Old San Juan is Playa Escambron. It's a sizable public beach set in two parts around a park and small historical site. Perhaps the most important thing they have is a dedicated snorkeling area. It's not great, but not bad. Here are a few short videos of the underwater activity. A little further east from San Juan, but still only a 15-minute taxi ride, are Playa Condado and Ocean Beach. These are closer to many of the larger resorts in San Juan, and you'll find these beaches to have a little more party atmosphere, but still pretty chill. Well, there you have it, a very quick overview of San Juan, Puerto Rico. We certainly didn't cover everything, but hopefully it gives you enough to get a feel for the place. But we're not done. Be sure to watch our second video on the 2 best day trips to do in Puerto Rico. But for this one, until next time, see you later.